Ladies and gentlemen, the Alabama Senate will now come to order. Our prayer today will be delivered by Senator Andrew Jones. Senator Jones.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day, Lord. We thank you for those who are gathered here. I pray that you'll just bless our deliberations today, Lord, as we go about the business of the people of Alabama. Lord, today as we honor our Lieutenant Governor, we want to thank you for his leadership over the last 8 years, Lord, as well. We pray that you just have a special blessing on each family that's represented here. Pray that everything we do will be honoring and uplifting to you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Today the pledge will be led by Camden Woods. Camden attends Jasper High School and is paging for Senator Woods.
Attention, salute, pledge.
All right, thank you, Camden. Secretary, call the roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 29 senators present, which is a quorum. The Senate is ready to transact business.
Mr. President.
Senator Wagner.
Move that we excuse absent senators.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President.
Senator Wagner.
Move that we dispense with the reading of the journal from the previous legislative day and that we adopt said journal.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President.
Yes, Senator
May I have
Figures.
a point of personal privilege, please?
You're recognized.
Thank you. Those of you who really know me know that I am a woman of deep spirituality and deep faith. And God knows I try to live my life staying in alignment with God's word. And you've heard me say many times, I've been here 30 years. I'm not going to badger anybody, so nobody has to leave. But I've been here 30 years, and yesterday was the first day that I have experienced seeing that the minority party, whether it was Democrats or Republicans in that minority party, were not allowed to say one word at this microphone while we were working on the special order calendar. The first time, it's actually the first time in the history of the Alabama State Senate that happened. Which means yesterday, March 31st, 2026, there were over 1.2 million citizens who did not have a voice to be heard, with the senators that they elected to come here and represent them to give their side of how they felt about the bills on the calendar. And what made it so bad, there were only 2 or 3 bills that the minority party were really against. We voted unanimously, I think, on the rest of the calendar. But yet, you continue to block us out. And for those of you who are lawyers, how would you feel if you went before a judge with your client to defend your client, and that judge did not recognize you to say one word And then the judge at the end of the case would just knock that gavel and send your client to prison or whatever, or say they're guilty. And I believe in my heart, with me knowing many of you one-on-one, that you knew that that was not the right thing to do. But I want you to know, I forgive you. I forgive each of you, because that's what God requires of us to do. And I do it with a cheerful heart. But I also know, too, that whatever you put out, it will come back to you. And it doesn't necessarily come back to you in the same way. I shall never forget, back in 1998, I had only been in the Senate for a year. And that's when the Democrats were in control and they were making the rules. And Senator Smithman, you're the only one who's here now that was there then. And you may remember me saying this. But when they were writing the stringent rules, taking voices and power away from the minority party, I said, you all need to be careful how you write these rules, because you're on top today, but you could be on the bottom tomorrow. So I will say the same to you. You're on top today, but you could be on the bottom tomorrow. And that's why it's important that we treat people the way we want to be treated. And I praise God for having the parents who taught me that. But I also know, too, that my deceased sorority sister, Maya Angelou, once said, whenever someone shows you who they are the first time, believe it. And I haven't believed for the first time when things were shown to me in this body. But after yesterday, I do believe it. And I pray to God, sincerely I do, I pray to God that He would change your hearts and your minds to treat us the way you want to be treated. Because whatever you put out, it's going to come back to you. And I don't wish anything bad on you. The Lord said, vengeance is mine, and God knows He can do it better than I or you ever could. But I am just asking you, as we start towards the end of this session and we go into a new quadrennium, please bring hearts and minds back for us to actually work together so that we don't have to lie to the pages and other people that we do work together. We need to work together in every aspect. And we all, no matter where we fall, need to have our voices heard. That is not democracy. And this is still the United States of America. And that is not good for Alabama and none of its citizens. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Senator. This time I want to recognize some special guests in the gallery. I think Senator Stewart, are they your guests, Senator Stewart? Oh, they're not here yet. Okay. All right, never mind. All right, Senator Roberts.
Point of personal privilege. As a board
Recognized.
member of the Alabama Department of Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention, also known as Children's Trust Fund, I'm proud to recognize April as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. When families can access support early before challenges escalate, children are more likely to thrive. Research shows that positive childhood experiences, including safe, stable, and nurturing relationships, protect children and promote lifelong well-being. This April, we can all make a difference by supporting prevention programs, advocating for family-centered policies, and encourage the families around us. When we invest in families, we create stronger possibilities for children, communities, and our collective future. And I believe we may have some to recognize with the Children's Trust Fund that are here in.
Yeah, I think we, guests of Senator Roberts, to call your name, if you could please stand. The staff from the Alabama Department of Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention, if y'all could please stand. Welcome to the Alabama Senate. Great to have you. All right, thank you, Senator Roberts. Senator Smithman,
May I have a brief moment of personal privilege?
you're recognized.
Thank you. I just rise. I was sitting there. Can I get y'all attention, please? I was sitting there as the senator was talking, and I just wanted to establish a point of reference as to what she was saying, and then just share a little concern. During that period, and I'll say this because I know a few of you all were here, but I know the rules chair was here. And I think that the element of reasonableness with each person was exercised when we were in the majority. I sat in that same seat, not all the time, but I sat in that same seat he's in. And it ain't a person in here cannot sit under any kind of debate, battle, or anything else that I did not recognize the first person that came to that mic was R or D. It didn't matter. We was in the majority of anything. I never not recognized who should be recognized at that time. Also, the Rules Chair was a part of the committee that came and established the fact that we should have they should have a third of these bills on this docket. I can't picture a day, he might, I don't know, but I don't remember a day that we didn't put a third of the bills in every committee, the thirds of the bills that's out here for the minority. We never not did that, no matter what we thought about the bills or anything else. So you said, why are you reiterating that? Because yesterday, we didn't have a bill. We started out on the first calendar having bills. We ended up not having any bills on the calendar. With the closure petition, you all could have controlled the flow regardless of whether we had some bills on there or not. You could have controlled the flow by allowing us to talk 5 minutes, then walk up there and put the closure petition in. That would not have stopped what you eventually did yesterday, or it would not have delayed us to a point that we couldn't have got out of here. So I'm saying that whatever that trigger is that caused you all to say that we gonna do this, I'm asking you to rethink that. Because personally, let me tell you something, we could have got out of here yesterday. Yeah, we had concerns about really the second bill as a caucus. But other than that, I think the senator who handled the first bill will tell you in committee what my position was on that bill and what I said and what I voted in committee. So once we got past that second bill, if you look at the voting record on this journal that the Rules Chair said that we did not have to read, you will see that we voted for every one of those bills. We didn't vote for closure, but we voted BIR, and we voted for every bill. Nothing was going to change after that. So you didn't have to punish us by not putting bills on the calendar. Now, you said, why are you saying that? I'm not ready. I don't look back because you remember Lot in the Bible? What did Lot's wife do? She looked back and turned into a grain of salt. So no, I'm not looking back. I'm looking forward. I haven't seen, I know they put it out. I have not even seen the calendar for today. But I would hope that we have bills on this calendar today. If not, then you got to understand that we are concerned about that. And that has a lot to do with how this day is going to go. We have a right to have bills on the calendar. And so if we, just like we took the calendar yesterday and redid it, if we don't have any, I hadn't seen it, but if we don't, I'm asking this body to recess and go put some more bills on there that relates to us, or either bills that we have requested, so that they can at least be presented to this body out here to be considered. I would hope we would do that so we can get through this process, just as easy as we can. It's a few things you all know that exist that just exist. And one of them, take the budget. That's 6 or 8 hours. So yeah, I'm just making a point, is that why would we do that? We have a good budget in my opinion. The chairmen will be commended for the work that they put into it. But let's get past yesterday. No matter whether it's a situation that come up that we don't totally agree, Remember, each situation should stand independently on its
All
own.
right, Senator Smoothman.
Yes.
Times.
Take my time.
Yeah, you
up.
just need to. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you go a little bit over, but anyway, yeah. So-
I don't mind stopping because.
no, I'm not. I mean, go ahead and finish up what you're saying. But
Okay.
anyway, I'll let you
mind.
go over about 20 seconds.
I'll obey the rules,
Yeah.
you know. But I will just say this in closing, is that I'm making an appeal to you all to reconsider that mindset. Reconsider it. Because she is right. We do, and I'm closing when I say this, we all represent 150,000 people. And we also represent 150,000 of diverse people in every one of y'all's districts, including mine. So I'm just making that appeal so that we can find a way to move forward, that we don't have the jerkiness that like we had yesterday. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Senator Smoothman. All right, Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President, for really a brief point of personal privilege. I wasn't going to mention anything about what occurred yesterday until the gentleman acknowledged that April is Child Abuse and Prevention Month. One of the bills that was stripped from the calendar yesterday was Senate Bill 318. And what that bill did was expand the definition of child torture. For politics' sake, because my name has a D behind it, that particular bill was taken off the calendar, and we just should not play politics with issues that impact children. And then secondly, as we're acknowledging April as Child Abuse Prevention Month, Senate Bill 43, that many of you have supported, that gives survivors of child sex assault some type of civil recourse. We still waiting on movement of that. And so again, as we acknowledge this month, I know we're coming to the end. It is not likely that either one of those bills will make it through this process, and it is unfortunate. Yesterday, I would have been very optimistic about both of those bills passing this session, but do hope if there is an opportunity to get some additional bills on the calendar, that Senate Bill 318 and Senate Bill 43 will be considered for that calendar. Thank you.
Thanks, Senator Coleman. All right, now move on to introduction of bills. Senator Kitchens.
I move that we allow for the introduction of bills at any point throughout the day.
We're good. Yeah, so anyway, if anybody introduces a bill, it's got to be unanimous consent, so that's not needed. All right. All right, you want to make your other motion, Senator Kitchens? Yeah.
I move that we allow for committee reports, the clerk to receive committee reports at any time throughout the day.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. All right. All right, now move on to committee reports. Secretary, call the first committee.
From Finance and Taxation, Education, House Bill number 235 receives a favorable report with substitute by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation, Education, House Bill number 236 receives a favorable report with substitute by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation, Education, House Bill number 237 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation, Education, House Bill number 238 receives a favorable report with substitute by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation, Education, House Bill number 239 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation, Education, House Bill number 240 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation, Education, House Bill number 241 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From From Finance and Taxation Education, House Bill number 242 receives a favorable report, vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation Education, House Bill number 565 receives a favorable report, vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation Education, Senate Bill number 380 receives a favorable report with one amendment by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation Education, House Bill number 517 receives a favorable report with two amendments by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation Education, House Bill number 98 receives a favorable report with substitute by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills receive a second read and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From Finance and Taxation General Fund, Senate Bill number 378 receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
This bill has received a second read and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From the Committee on County and Municipal Government, House Bill number 568 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays. From County and Municipal Government, House Bill number 499 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays. From County and Municipal Government, House Bill number 433 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills receive a second read and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From the Committee on Education Policy, House Bill number 8 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on Education Policy, House Bill number 380 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills receive a second read and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From the Committee on Banking and Insurance, House Bill number 545 receives a favorable report by a vote of 10 ayes and 0 nays.
This bill receives a second read and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From the Committee on Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, House Bill number 586 receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 2 nays.
This bill has received a second read and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From the Healthcare Committee, House Bill number 533 receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays. From the Healthcare Committee, House Bill number 605 receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills receive a second read and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From the Committee on Tourism and Marketing, House Bill number 513 receives a favorable report by a vote of 10 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on Tourism and Marketing, House Bill number 626 receives a favorable report by a vote of 10 ayes and 0 nays. From Tourism and Marketing, Senate Bill number 357 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays.
Bills received a second read and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From the Committee on Local Legislation, Mobile County, Senate Bill number 376 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays. From Local Legislation, Mobile County, House Bill number 496 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays. From Local Legislation, Mobile County, House Bill number 500 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays. From local legislation, Mobile County, House Bill number 498 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays. From local legislation, Mobile County, House Bill number 501 receives a favorable report. From local legislation, Mobile County, House Bill number 502 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays. From local legislation, Mobile County, House Bill number 510 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays. From local legislation, Mobile County, House Bill number 629 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next committee.
From the Committee on Local Legislation, House Bill number 574 receives a favorable report. From the Committee on Local Legislation, House Bill number 613 receives a favorable report. From local legislation, House Bill number 587 receives a favorable report. From local legislation, House Bill number 573 receives a favorable report. From local legislation, House Bill number 624 receives a favorable report. From local legislation, House Bill number 625 receives a favorable report. From local legislation, House Bill number 636 receives a favorable report.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called the next committee.
From local legislation, Madison County, Senate Bill number 379 receives a favorable report by a vote of 4 ayes and 0 nays.
Mr. President, could we have the title read and in part, because at least I about ought to know what's going on. They're working on a bill or two that's probably on this calendar right here.
Okay.
And they need some time. So I just want folks to know that I'm up here trying to get time for them working on something that's on this calendar before
All right.
we get to it.
Sounds good, Secretary. Read the title.
Relating to Madison County to alter, rearrange, and extend the boundary lines and corporate limits of the city of Owens Crossroads in Madison County.
All right. Y'all want to call the next committee? All right. So that concludes committee reports. Now move on to motions and resolutions. All right, Senator Woods.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution number 100 by Senator Woods, honoring Miss Presley Skelton for winning the 2026 American Legion Department of Alabama oratorical competition.
All All right, Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. Honored to introduce this resolution to honor Miss Presley Skelton for winning the Alabama American Legion Department of Oratorical Competition not once but twice, 2 years in a row. She's a senior at Jasper High School, and she is paging for me this week, and it's just a privilege to have her here with us, and I'd like to commit this to rules.
Okay. All right, Secretary, send to rules.
Thank you.
Senate Joint Resolution number 100 by Senator Woods is referred to the Rules Committee.
All right, thanks, Senator Woods. All right, Senator Gavan.
Mr. President, I have a SJR.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the SJR, please.
Senate Joint Resolution number 101 by Senator Gavan, commending Auburn University's School of Architecture, Planning and Landscape Architecture.
Mr. President, if everybody hasn't had the chance in here to see the work that the students at Auburn did for us, it's quite impressive about the new building and the new, or well, what the Capitol complex will look back like after we get that building in place. So I'd like to refer this to rules.
Refer it to rules. All right, Secretary, send to rules, please.
Senate Joint Resolution number 101 is referred to the Rules Committee.
All right, thanks, Senator Gavan.
Mr. President.
All right, Senator Carnley.
Yes, Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution, please.
Senate Joint Resolution number 102 by Senator Carnley, establishing the Alabama Forest Products Retention and Pulp and Paper Mill Stability Study Commission.
Mr. President, I'd like to refer this to rules.
All right, Secretary, I refer that to rules, please.
Senate Joint Resolution number 102 by Senator Carnley is referred to the Rules Committee.
Thank you.
All right, got some special guests in the gallery. I'd like to recognize a guest of Senator Coleman and Senator Coleman-Madison. When I call your name, if you could please stand. Members of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. It's Delta Days at the Capitol tomorrow. If y'all could please stand. Great to have you today.
Okay. So that y'all working on that. So that's. You want to do that now?
All right, Senator Barfoot.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've got a Senate Joint Resolution mourning the death and celebrating the life of Norman Wendell Arnold, who is the father of Troy Arnold here. I understand need to send this to rules.
Okay. All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution and send to rules, please.
Senate Joint Resolution number 103 by Senator Barfoot, mourning the death and celebrating the life of Norman Wendell Arnold, is referred to the Committee on Rules.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Senator Barfoot.
Mr. President, have a resolution, please.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution number 104, designated Alabama as the River State by Senator Price.
Mr. President, we'd like for that to go to rules, please.
All right, Secretary, send to rules.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome back a former senator to the floor. Welcome, Mr. Hand. Great to have you today. So welcome to the Senate floor again. All right, any other motions or resolutions?
Mr. President,
Senator Gudger.
I have a resolution, please, sir.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
And I would like to, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules to be able to have this resolution read, also for immediate consideration and adding all senators to this as we move forward. Is that the correct motion,
All right.
Mr. Secretary?
Any objection? All right, hearing none, so ordered.
And Mr. Lieutenant Governor, at this point, since we suspended the rules, I would like for the Ainsworth family to come out here onto the floor if that's possible.
Senate Joint Resolution number 105, commending Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth for his service to the state of Alabama. Whereas with utmost admiration and sincere respect, we take great pride in commending Alabama's 31st Lieutenant Governor, William Will Ainsworth, for his many accomplishments towards the betterment of our state, especially in the areas of workforce development, military support, and tax reform. Whereas Will Ainsworth was born in Birmingham to Billy and Sharon Ainsworth in 1981, he grew up in Boaz and graduated from Westbrook Christian School in 1999. After attaining a bachelor's degree in marketing from Auburn University in 2004, he returned to Marshall County and served as Albertville's Grace Fellowship Church as a youth pastor. Whereas along with his brother, Austin, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth opened Dream Ranch Hunting Lodge in Gunnersville in 2003. He also founded the Tennessee Valley Hunting and Fishing Expo in 2011 and became a real estate investor specializing in residential construction and development. In addition, he operates a commercial cattle operation in Gunnersville. Whereas after answering the call to serve his community through elected office, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth won a 27th district seat in the Alabama House of Representatives in 2014. While serving in the House, he was a champion for pre-K, K-12, and higher education, passed election integrity legislation, and emphasized issues relating to business, agriculture, and family values. Whereas keeping a self-imposed legislative term limit promise, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth declared his candidacy for Lieutenant Governor in 2018 and received the most votes of any candidate for constitutional office on the general election ballot. He was elected to a second term without major party opposition in 2022. Whereas during the 2023 legislative session, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth was the chief architect and proponent of the largest tax cut in Alabama history, a $300 million reduction in the state sales tax on groceries. He has also been instrumental in renewing the Alabama Jobs Act and growing Alabama to ensure that our state remains competitive in recruiting high-paying 21st century jobs. Whereas a chair of the Alabama Small Business Commission, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth has worked to promote policies that grow and expand both new and existing businesses from small mom-and-pop operations to Alabama's largest employers. Whereas under his leadership, the Alabama Military Stability Commission has passed dozens of bills in the legislature to ensure Alabama remains the nation's most welcoming state to active soldiers and veterans. In 2024, he highlighted the enactment of a 10-bill pro-military package and launched the Heroes Welcome website as a resource for transitioning families. As a result, his efforts on behalf of military members and their families earned Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth the Pete Taylor Award from the U.S. Department of Defense. Whereas he also served as the national chair of the Aerospace States Association, a group of elected officials, academics, and private sector entities from states with ties to the aviation and spaceflight industries. Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth has served as a strong advocate for Alabama's aerospace industry, promoted STEM education in K-12 schools, and has pushed the Pentagon to maintain its commitment of placing U.S. Space Command headquarters in Huntsville. He also launched an aerospace internship program as well as an aerospace supplier program. Whereas perhaps one of Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth's more visible accomplishments to visitors touring our state is his Go Wide I-65 campaign to widen the interstate to at least 3 lanes on each side from the Tennessee state line down to Alabama's Gulf Coast, aiding safety, traffic congestion, and statewide economic impact. Whereas Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth is married to the former Kendall Foster, and they are the proud parents of Hunter, Hayes, and Addie. The Ainsworths are members of the Gilliam Springs Baptist Church in Arab, where Kendall teaches the children's Sunday school class. Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth enjoys spending time with his family in the outdoors, coaching, and playing sports. Whereas Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth will forever be remembered for his conservative Christian values, ethical standards, and staunch advocacy for jobs and high-quality public education. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the legislature of Alabama, both houses thereof concurring, that Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth is highly honored and commended for his many contributions to the people of Alabama, and we express profound gratitude for his dedicated service as a mentor, role model, and advocate for the continued growth of Alabama, inspiring others through his professionalism, compassion, and tireless work ethic. Be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the official record as a lasting tribute to the Lieutenant Governor, to his exemplary leadership and enduring impact on the residents of Alabama.
Mr. President,
Senator Goucher.
Thank you. I know that we're all Auburn people here. The smart ones are anyway. But I'm going to go with a Paul Bear Bryant quote. You're a winner, nothing but a winner. And we're proud of you. And I'm just thankful that we became friends as quick as we did during the process of election in 2018. And then we've stayed tight ever since then. I think that the legacy that you're leaving is not for you. You have put the toil and the sweat and the blood in and the stress that you've had to be away from your family, but you've done it because of the next generations that are coming after you. And that's what a true leader is all about, is not only raising leaders, which is what you've done, but also leaving a legacy and a mark upon the state of Alabama. And sir, you've done that at a tremendous amount, and we are all so proud of you. But thank you for being my friend, and I sure do love you, buddy. There's no doubt.
Mr. President.
Senator Livingston.
It has truly been an adventure. We thank you for that. I know you're proud of your family and your family's proud of you, and you're going to leave a long mark across Alabama from the Tennessee line to the beaches in Alabama, and we thank you for that and your leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Livingston.
Mr. President.
Senator Smitherman.
Thank you. I heard my good colleague, Senator Figures, talk about the 30 years. Well, I've been here 32 years, and I've been working on a lot of lieutenant governors. And I'm just going to tell you, you've done an outstanding job during this period. I mean it sincerely from my heart. You know, you've worked to make sure all our citizens are being able to be taken care of in this state. So for that, I want to commend you and thank you very much. You know, you've done an outstanding job with your family. You know, I mean, these are some fine young men and young lady that you have here. But one of the most, I guess, precious things about the fact of me getting a chance to meet your family, I got a chance to rekindle the fact that your mother and I went to the University of Montevallo together. You know, and I got a chance to meet your dad. You know, he and I had a chance to visit, you know, not just speaking. We got a chance to visit a long time. And I see where your roots come from, and I see how you extended to your family. So I just want to tell you that it's been a pleasure, and still is until we get out of here, to serve with you. And as you go forward, may God continue to bless you and your family. And I'm sure he's going to do that, and I'm sure this is only the beginning of the path that you're going to cherish in life and accomplish. So thank you again for being the person that you are. I appreciate you being here and taking care of really all of us as our Lieutenant Governor. And may God continue to bless you.
Thank you, Senator Smitherman. Senator Elliott.
Mr. President, thank you for the recognition. You know, if you could take a tornado, light it on fire, and give it the mass of uranium, I think it would be less impactful than you've been on this state. Your policies, the inertia that will last well beyond your tenure in office is going to be something you just get to look back and watch. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. Mr. and Mrs. Ainsworth, Kendall, Hunter Hayes, Addie, you've got a great dad, and he is a good man. He loves y'all. He talks about you constantly. And he's a good example for the rest of us. Thank you.
Appreciate you, ma'am.
The balls and strikes, but we've always agreed to be Alabamians. And I want to say that as a minority leader, that you've always respected our side of the aisle to always include us in your policy, to make sure that we were always, and even in appointments and things that you did, you look out for Alabama. And I have told you that I think you're missing your other calling, but we won't say that publicly anyway. But I think that what you've done for this state and what you've done for this office will take it to a whole nother level. And whoever comes in that seat behind you has some big shoes to fill. So thank you for the work that you've done, not only for the state of Alabama, but with your family. Thank you all for giving him to us, and we're going to miss you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Singleton. Senator Weaver.
Mr. President, it's been just a minute since we started downstairs together, and what a ride it's been. these beautiful children were tiny babies. I remember the first time when you came here and they came here for the first time, they were little bitty fellas. And just think of all that's been accomplished because of your leadership since then. So on behalf of not only myself and my district, but for the people of the state, I want to tell you how forever grateful we are for your fire and your leadership. And I just want you to know that when the going gets tough, there is nobody else I'd rather have in the foxhole with me than you, Mr. President. And I look forward to seeing what you're going to do next, because I know this is just the beginning of something great. So appreciate your friendship and looking forward to seeing what's next.
Thank you, Senator Weaver. I just want to say this first. Been a tremendous honor to be your lieutenant governor, to be everybody's lieutenant governor. First, to my family, appreciate y'all's support. My wonderful wife, Kendall, our great children, my great parents. And I want to say this to everybody in Alabama. Thanks for electing me to be lieutenant governor. And to the senators in here, Republican, Democrat, y'all are all tremendous friends. You care about your district. You want to do what's best. And y'all can praise me. It's not about me. It's about what everybody's done together and us working together. So thank y'all for the work you've done and letting me be a part of it. To the House colleagues, I've enjoyed working with them and serving in the House. And then I also want to brag on the staff I've had, as well as the staff up here. Pat Harris, he runs a tight ship and does a good job, and couldn't have done it without him. But love what we've done. Let's continue to finish strong and do the people's work. And I love being from Alabama, love our state, and really proud of what we've been able to do together. Thank you all so much, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on one second. I want to get him down here and take a picture with y'all. Mr. President, at this time, we have suspended the rules, but I would like to ask for adoption of this particular resolution, but then we have suspended the rules. I would love for you, if you have, take one moment to come down to take a picture with us while you're in front. If that's okay. But I am making a motion to adopt this resolution.
All those in
consideration.
Yeah, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, resolution's adopted.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Mom and Dad and the girls.
All right, any other motions or resolutions that anyone has? All right, Secretary, we'll go to House messages next. While y'all are waiting on that, I want to recognize some special guests in the gallery, the guest of the entire Senate Electric Cities of Alabama Board of Directors. If y'all could please stand. Thank you. All right, welcome to Alabama Senate. Great to have you today.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 248 by Representative Faulkner regarding the Alabama Business and Nonprofit Entities Code is referred to the Committee on Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development.
Mr. President.
Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Yes. Just for time's sake, would you request to read the title?
Can you read the title? Before you do that, let me recognize some more special guests in the gallery. We have, they're the guests of Senator Bell. We have leadership from Honda Manufacturing in Lincoln. If y'all could please stand. Welcome to Alabama Senate. Great to have you today.
Regarding the Alabama Business and Nonprofit Entities Code to amend sections 10A1, 10A11.3, 10A13.32, 10A1.44, 10A14.21, 10A14.23, as amended by Act 205, 10A2A.603, Section 8 of Act 2025-281, now appearing as Section 10A3A-4-26, Sections 10A3A8.60, Section 10A8A5.02 as amended by Act 2025-281, Code of Alabama. Sections 10A8A5.02 as amended by Act 2025-281, Regular Session, Section Code of Alabama 1975 to add Division G consisting of Section 10A2A8.70 to Article 8 of Chapter 2A, Title 10A Code of Alabama, to add Sections 10A3A6.14 to the Code of Alabama to add Division G consisting of Section 10A3A8.70 to Article 8 of Chapter 3A, Title 10A Code of Alabama 1975, to make technical corrections, and codify common law, to clarify the law governing entities and clarify the internal affairs doctrine, thereby codifying common law, to provide a new procedure to correct or nullify filling instruments, to clarify that a registered agent may not perform its duties virtually, to clarify the process for a foreign entity doing business in the state that is withdrawing its certificate of authority to transact business in this state, to clarify certain proxy matters allowed in the bylaws of business corporations, and to clarify the forum selection provisions for business corporations and nonprofit corporations, to clarify the procedures, processes, rights, and responsibilities of owners and entities regarding records requests, to provide for expedited court review in the event of noncompliance, and to allow the court in any expedited review to determine the allocation among the parties to the review, to clarify the duties of stockholders to business corporations and fellow stockholders, to provide procedures for officers, directors, stockholders, and members of business corporations and nonprofit corporations to follow when the officers, directors, stockholders, and members of business corporations and nonprofit corporations are involved in a conflicting transaction or a corporate opportunity transaction, or both, which, if followed, would provide the officers, directors, stockholders, and members of the business corporations and nonprofit corporations with certain safe harbors, and to repeal sections 10A2A16.1, Code of Alabama, providing for financial statements for stockholders and members respectively. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 584 by Representative Ross and others regarding screen-based instruction is referred to the Committee on Education Policy. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Mr. President, could I request the title be read?
Yeah, Secretary, read the title.
Regarding on-screen-based instruction, to require the State Board of Education to establish standards for screen-based instruction in kindergarten through 12th grade, to create the Instructional Technology Task Force within the State Department of Education, to require the standards to reflect the recommendations of the task force, and to provide certain exceptions from any prohibitions on screen use. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 542 by Representative Blackshear regarding public highways is referred to the Committee on Transportation and Energy. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Mr. President, could I request the title be read?
All right, Secretary, read the title.
Relating to public highways, to amend Section 2315, Code of Alabama to add conditions to the state payment of utility facility relocations and certain utilities, to require the Director of Transportation to reimburse utilities with a gross income over $250 million for costs incurred in relocating utility facilities required for highway construction, pursuant to an order of the Director, and to require the Director to submit an annual report to the Legislature. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 593 by Representative Witt regarding alcoholic beverages. House Bill number 593 by Representative Witt is referred to the Committee on Tourism. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Right, tourism.
Mr. President, could I request the title be read?
All right, Secretary, read the title.
Regarding alcoholic beverages, to amend sections 284A1 through 284A6, Code of Alabama, and to redesignate these sections as Article 1, Chapter 4A of Title 28, Code of Alabama, to add sections 284A7, 284A8, 284A9 to Article 1 of Chapter 4A of Title 28, to add Articles 2, 3, and 4 to Chapter 4A of Title 28, Code of Alabama, to create the Alabama Small Craft Alcoholic Beverages Act, to create new categories of licenses for small craft distilleries and small craft wineries, and create a new license for small craft alcoholic beverage manufacturers that operate a brew pub, small craft winery, or small craft distillery, or any combination of these, to provide for qualifications and license requirements, to permit a brew pub, small craft winery, or small craft distillery to allow tours of their manufacturing facilities, to provide for sales by a brew pub, small craft winery, or small craft distillery at off-premise events open to the public, to provide that a brew pub, winery, or small craft distillery or any other alcoholic beverage manufacturer may maintain a storage facility off the licensed manufacturing premises, to require the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board to administer and enforce the act, and to amend Section 283A Code of Alabama 1975 to make conforming changes. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 404 by Representative Rafferty, with notice and proof regarding Class 1 municipalities, is referred to the Committee on Local Legislation, Jefferson County. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 169 by Representative Keel regarding the Department of Archives and History is referred to the Committee on County and Municipal Government. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 13 by Representative Yarbrough and others regarding illegal immigration is referred to the Committee on Veterans and Military Affairs. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and has passed the following Senate bill and returns same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 271, a proposed constitutional amendment regarding the office of Lieutenant Governor. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the House amendment using long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smotherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
25 ayes, 0 nays, 2 abstentions. The Senate concurs on Senate Bill 271.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. All right, Secretary, call the next House message.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and as amended has passed the following Senate bill and returns same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 118 regarding the Alabama Justice Information Commission. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
I'm going to make the motion to concur with the House amendment.
Mr. President, could I be recognized?
You recognized.
What did this bill do? I've been
I'm just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I've been talking to you on that. I didn't even hear what he said when he read it, so I'm trying to figure out what it does.
We got a senator coming down that can answer that for you.
Yeah.
All right, Senator Bell, we're on your concur motion on your bill. Yeah.
Sorry, I've been in the
House Judiciary with Judge Hill.
Oh, my friend.
This is the Aaliyah background check bill, and I know we did an amendment up here, and they added another amendment down there, just making a tweak to a little bit of it on the background, making sure it's the safety factor on it. That's about all they did, just a few words.
Now, have you been in here when I came to the mic the first time?
I was not.
Okay, so I need to share with you that they're trying to work on some things, on some bills that make, I think, on the calendar.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I'm just talking a little bit.
I started at House Judiciary at 1:30
now,
and just got my way up here.
Now, in case of you,
We're going to have fun.
I'm not going to have a lot to say.
Well,
because
of this morning?
Yeah.
We're not going to tell all of our secrets.
No, we're not going to tell them. We won't tell
The Lieutenant Governor would really be surprised at the background information. We're talking about a bill that talks about backgrounds, about the background information from this morning.
Yeah, I think he would.
But I can say this, we've got a story 20 years from now, we got us a good story.
And let me say this once again, I've said this about you, and I'll say it in there publicly. You're not just a lawyer. You're a lawyer's lawyer.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean that sincerely.
I never did get my retainer this morning to advise you.
Hey, in that case, I'm going to have to make sure I take care of that IOU.
We'll work on a Three Musketeer or a Snickers bar or something like that.
Well, hey, if since that's the case, I'm not gonna say much on this. We're trying to work with some time. And I just want you weren't in here when I said that. It's nothing. This is not a formal quote, lack of a better word, filibuster or nothing like that. We're just trying to kind of get enough time for them to come to some kind of resolution. How they trying to work through a situation back there.
Hey, if they work through the resolution, the easier it is for us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let me just ask you this quickly, and then I'll pass it back to you. Who the background check? Who are we getting the background check?
Aaliyah already does that. And, they do it for the school teachers.
Oh, okay, that kind of background.
They do it for the health care, and they have to keep up with it for that industry. So it's the bill we've already passed up here. We passed it a while back up here. They made a couple tweaks. I know up here, Senator Figures worked on that bill, made a change on that bill up here, and they just tweaked a couple. I think one little thing down there is all it was, and it was really nothing. Worked with Aaliyah and sent it back up here to us. And this what it is. They have that subscription system now where the health care and education system can subscribe, and it keeps them up to date where Aaliyah's not having to daily have receipt, have you got anything from this? But it keeps them up to date on what's going on with their employees. If they get a felony, if they get arrested or get something, that's all it does.
That's good, though. I think that's good to have that readily there. That's called utilizing technology.
We have to work on getting a background check for firefighters, too, at some point.
Okay. All right.
They have swift response. They have a really swift response, especially on high angle rescue and things of that nature that, on fires and things that I learned here recently.
I got you. Well, I'm going to yield back to you to let you finish your process with this bill, okay?
All right. Chair. Mr. President, motion concur.
All right. Using long roll.
We can. That's for time's sake.
Long roll.
All right. Secretary, call long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smithman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
Thirty-two ayes, 0 nays. The Senate concurs on Senate Bill 118. Thank you, Senator Bell. All right, Secretary, call the next House message.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and as amended has passed the following Senate bill and returned same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 248 regarding public education. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Senator Shelnut.
Mr. President, I move that we concur with the House amendment.
Using previous roll.
Yes, sir.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 248 passes. Secretary, call the next House message.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and as amended has passed the following Senate bill and returned same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 203 regarding criminal law and procedure. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Senator Figures, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to concur with the House amendment using previous role without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, no nays. The Senate concurs in the House amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, members of the Senate.
Thank you, Senator Figures. All right. Now move on to motions and resolutions. Anybody have any motions or resolutions? All right, now move on to local bill. Secretary, call the first uncontested local bill.
On page 66 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 374 by Senator Beasley, a proposed constitutional amendment regarding Henry County. BR pending.
Senator Chambliss, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, members of the body. Appreciate everybody working through these issues that we're working through today, and hopefully we'll get to a really good place. This bill is a local bill, as we all have talked about, and sponsored by Senator Beasley. It's a constitutional amendment, and it obviously affects just his area since it's a local bill. And with that, I'd move BIR using the long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman-Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shellnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smithman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
28 ayes, no nays. The BR is adopted. The Secretary call the bill.
On page 66 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 374 by Senator Beasley, a proposed constitutional amendment regarding Henry County.
Mr. President.
Senator Chambliss.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you all know, local legislation, and here's the senator from representing Henry County in this. Is this something you'd like to speak to, Senator?
Representative, Mr. Senator, this is a local bill. It's a constitutional amendment. 3 mills ad valorem taxes for a school in Headland, Alabama. It's needed because the population has grown tremendously over the last 5 years in the city of Headland, and they have over 1,100 students in a building that's designed for about 600, so they need a new school. That's the purpose of the bill.
So this will allow them to make the decision for themselves.
That's right. The people of Henry County in the designated area will make the decision to vote yes or no on this referendum.
Yeah, and that is a good way for that to happen instead of someone else from some other area dictating what happens to them or not. This enables them to make their own decision about this particular issue.
It's no question. It's a local matter. It's in the best interest of the children of the Headland area because the population continues to grow because they have a tremendous school system in Headland, but they've outgrown their facility. I've been in a constant conversation with the superintendent of education in Henry County, and he told me as much as 24 months ago it was needed. And I'm in full support of it.
Sure, absolutely. Tell me again, is this in Henry County, are there multiple schools or a single school system?
Yeah.
Or how is that? I know every county is a little bit different.
There's a high school in Abbeville.
Okay.
And that's the only public schools in Henry County. It's a private school in Abbeville.
Sure, sure. So is it a K-12 or do they have various?
They have elementary schools, junior high school,
Yeah,
and a
and then a high school. Yeah, yeah.
In Abbeville is an elementary, middle school, and a high school. That's in Abbeville.
Okay.
And Headland has elementary schools, middle schools, and a high school.
Yeah, yeah. So it's much like many other systems around the state. You have the younger in the elementary, and then the middle school. We call it junior high in one of my counties, and then we have a high school, and so and the grades vary depending on which school. We have actually 2 feeder systems. We have a K-6 on one side, and we have, I might not get this exactly right, but K-2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they all go to the junior high from there and then to the high school from there. So it's kind of interesting that every county is a little bit different in how their systems have evolved over time to meet that local need. And this is one more step in that process where they get to choose, the public gets to choose about what is the direction, the future capital improvements.
Over the last 7, 8 years, I've been in discussions with the leadership in Headland, the mayor and the superintendent, and the population in the school system in Headland continues to increase. They're having a number of citizens that have moved to Headland from Houston County, on the northern part of Houston County. And if we don't do something about it and have a referendum and have it passed by the people of Henry County, then it's an impairment to the development of our young school children.
I see. See, I always thought Headland was in North Houston, but it's actually in Henry.
Headland is the lower, I guess, the southwest corner of Henry County.
Okay.
And it borders, I think, 4 or 5 miles from Houston County.
I see. I know a well driller from Headland, Donald Smith. He's been there.
He drills wells.
That's right. That's right. And he's actually drilled several wells for me over my career, municipal big wells.
He's a former mayor as well.
Yeah, I remembered that. So I've seen him and his employees every now and then, but it's been a while since I've seen them. But for whatever reason, I always thought it was North Houston, but it's southwest. You said southwest Henry.
It's in the lower left quadrant of Henry County.
Yeah. Okay.
About 5 miles north of Houston County.
I see. Okay.
You run to the west of Headland is Midland City. Wallace College is in Midland City, 2-year community college.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think the citizens of the county value education and will likely support this, or is it 50-50, or do you even venture a guess?
You know, it's kind of hard to put what the people are always going to do. That's the reason we have elections.
That's right.
The Constitutional Amendment will give the people of Henry County the right or privilege to make that decision. I'm just convinced from the leadership in Headland, convinced with the superintendent of education, who happens to be Laurie Beasley, not related to me, but she's an outstanding superintendent.
Oh, okay.
And she says if we're going to maintain quality education for the children of Headland, it's imperative that we have this legislation passed today and presented as a constitutional amendment in the November election.
Yeah. Well, all right. With that, unless you have anything else, we'll go ahead and move.
I'd like to move for final passage.
All right. Do you want to use the long roll?
Long roll's fine. Members of the Senate, we need 21 votes for this constitutional amendment. I certainly appreciate your support. I know every member of the Alabama Senate values the important. I move for passage using the previous roll.
Any objection?
Without any objection.
All right, Secretary, call the roll. Short roll.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods,
28 ayes, no nays. SB 374 receives its final passage. Thank you, Senator Beasley.
Thank you, members of the
Mr.
Senate.
President, I move certification using the previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods,
Twenty-eight ayes, no nays. Certification resolution is adopted. Thank you. Secretary, call the next uncontested local bill.
On page 66 of the calendar, House Bill number 432 by Representative Hassel regarding Montgomery County. BR pending.
Mr. President, stand here regarding HB 432. It is a bill related to Montgomery County to authorize the judge of probate to charge an additional fee for the rights of marriage. Thank you, Senator. This is a bill that helps our probate court judge. We've got an excellent probate court judge. This is brought by Representative Hassel, and I'm going to talk a little bit on the BIR if I could, just for a few.
All right. You mind if I recognize some guests in the gallery?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Guests of Senator Butler and the Madison County Legislative Delegation, if you'll please stand. The Alabama State Council of IAM, President James Tate, Ricky Langford, Michelle Hunt, and the rest of the group from Madison County. Welcome to the Alabama Senate. All right, Senator Barfoot.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, HB 432 is, let me go ahead and do this. Let me move for adoption of the BIR, and I'd like to speak to that motion.
All right, you're recognized.
Thank you. This bill was a bill that was introduced back in February and, of course, made its way all the way through the House, relating to Montgomery County to authorize the judge of probate to charge an additional fee for celebrating the rites of matrimony. And the judge of probate of Montgomery County may charge an additional reasonable fee for providing the services of celebrating the rites of matrimony. Fee authorized by this section shall be in addition to the fee imposed pursuant to 12-1990, Code of Alabama 1975, and shall be retained by the judge of probate or the designee of the judge who conducts the marriage, and then this act shall become effective immediately. So a relatively short piece of legislation that, again, we've got a very good, hardworking probate judge in Montgomery County. Had some piece of legislation earlier this year with regards to probate judge, and I found it absolutely appalling that the probate judge of Montgomery County was only making the minimum amount. We're one of a few counties, as you may know, out of the 67 that requires the probate judge to be an attorney, and that was a piece of legislation that passed several years ago. And so we've limited, because of the duties and responsibilities of the probate judge in Montgomery County, because of the size of Montgomery County, we've limited the pool of folks who can actually become the probate judge to lawyers, which, there are certainly some aspects of that job where it's not a requirement. Maybe it shouldn't be a requirement to be an attorney, but there are certainly others that are. And some of those that actually are, in my opinion, one of the responsibilities that a probate judge has that I think being an attorney absolutely helps is commitment hearings. Montgomery has commitment hearings as it relates to probate commitment hearings, involuntary commitment hearings, those individuals who have been picked up or maybe in some type of mental health distress.
Senator Barfoot, you mind if I recognize some more guests in the gallery?
Go right ahead.
All right, the guests of Senator Stewart and Senator Beasley, if you'll please stand. Students from Tuskegee University from the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Welcome to the Alabama Senate. Thank you. Senator Barfoot.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. So, in addition to, go back on that, on the probate judge's responsibility and role and with regard to involuntary commitments. And, as an attorney that's handled cases there, I recognize the importance of that when you're taking away someone's or affecting their civil liberties to go and to and from and to do. But sometimes the court process is certainly needed. You have in those cases an attorney that's representing the petitioner, somebody who's filed a petition for involuntary commitment. Oftentimes that's an individual who is a family member, someone who certainly cares about that individual who may be having some mental health problems at the time. And then the court will appoint various other individuals, someone who acts as a guardian ad litem in that capacity. And that guardian ad litem is an attorney who's looking out for the best interest of the respondent, that individual that a petition has been filed on. The role of a guardian ad litem in that respect is to not necessarily do what the respondent wants, but is to try to seek and advocate for what is best for that individual that's going through that mental health crisis in that time of need. So when a judge appoints those attorneys to represent those various parties, that's an extremely important function. It's something that we don't take lightly, nor should we. And certainly then after you have that appointment, you have a hearing. Of course, at that hearing, both sides again are represented, one by a guardian ad litem, one by an attorney for the respondent. And the judge is then able or has to or required to make a determination whether that involuntary petition for commitment or petition for involuntary commitment actually should be granted or not. And there are certain criteria that the judge looks at. Those are, I think, in code, and there's certainly in some case law out there as it relates to the things that, and I won't remember them all off the top of my head, but does this person, first of all, suffer from a mental disease or defect? In other words, are they experiencing active mental health symptoms? Does that person, are they able to decide what's in their best interest, again, based on their mental health condition at the time? Do they pose a real or present threat or danger to themselves or others? That's certainly one of the other criteria for that petition for involuntary commitment. There are others that would include, do they recognize that whether or not treatment is in their best interest? And then ultimately, what is the determination of that petition by the court and the probate judge as to what should happen? Should that petition be dismissed? In other words, that criteria not been met? Has that petition been satisfied? And if so, then the court has essentially two different options. The court could grant that petition and commit that individual to the Department of Mental Health, and oftentimes that stay is extremely brief, or they could continue that petition. And I use it it's a terrible analogy, but I use it kind of like probation. It's kind of like when you're on a petition has been continued, that individual. So thank you, Mr. President. So I know we're still on the BIR and some discussion on that. And again, that probate, the petition for involuntary commitment, there's an important decision that probate judge has to make. And again, in Montgomery, we're fortunate that we have a very good probate judge who's an attorney who recognizes what the law is, what those criteria for commitments are. And then ultimately, the probate judge can make that determination based on all the facts and evidence that's submitted before him as to whether or not that petition should be dismissed or continued, or whether or not that individual needs some long-term treatment in the Department of Mental Health. One of the other roles that a probate judge has across the state, but specifically as I speak of Montgomery County and this local bill that we have, is for adoptions. Now, I've never handled adoptions, but certainly I can think of fewer instances in which having a seasoned attorney on the bench as the probate judge could be more beneficial than in that regard. So we're fortunate in that. Again, I've never handled those adoption type hearings, but a lot of case law and statute that governs that, and certainly you need a learned attorney to look at those cases that come through. Also, in the role of probate judge in the courtroom setting, you have conservatorships and guardianships. And you heard earlier this year there was some discussions and some legislation about conservatorships and what that is. And so the difference between a guardian and a conservator is a person is appointed. Well, Mr. President, with that, I could go on, obviously, because I'm very passionate about our probate judge in Montgomery. I'd ask that the BIR be adopted using previous rule.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
29 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. All right, Secretary, call the bill.
On page 66 of the calendar, House Bill number 432 by Representative Hassel regarding Montgomery County.
Mr. President, I'd ask to carry this bill over to the call of the chair.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. All right, House Bill 432 is carried over the call of the chair. All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. Asking for a recess at the call of the chair to recognize one of these champions.
Okay. All right, any objection to recess at the call of the chair? All right, so ordered. We stand in recess. All right.
Thank you,
now
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to welcome and I'd like to ask the body to help me welcome into the Alabama Senate the 4A state boys champions, none other than the Fairfield Tigers from Senate District 19. We're so excited to have, it is Senate District 19. It is not a half of anything. This senator behind me is claiming you all as well. And we're just so excited to have this championship team here. I don't know if you all know the legacy of Fairfield High School in basketball. I believe this is the third championship of this coach over the past few years. But over my 20 years, this might be the, 7th, 8th team with the girls coming as well. So you all give them one more round of applause for just really pouring into these student athletes. What I'm going to ask, Mr. President, is for a resolution to be read in their honor. While the resolution is being read, some of you all's names are going to be called. Can you kind of step forward so they'll know who these amazing student athletes are? Can you all do that? All right, thank you all. Moving forward with the reading of the resolution.
Senate resolution commending the Fairfield Tigers and coach Maurice Ford for winning the 2026 Alabama High School Athletic Association 4A Boys Basketball State Championship by Senator Coleman. Whereas highest commendations are herein proudly presented to the Fairfield High School Preparatory School Boys Basketball Team on winning the 2026 Alabama High School Athletic Association Class 4A Boys Basketball State Championship. Whereas the Fairfield Tigers defeated Asheville 65-42 on March the 6th, 2026 at Legacy Arena. The team dominated early in the game with a 15-2 lead and closed with a 16-4 run in the final period. Despite a brief third-quarter surge by Asheville, Fairfield's superior rebounding and 22 points from turnovers solidified the victory. This marks the team's third state title since 2020 under the leadership of head coach Maurice Ford. Whereas standout athletes included Milton Jones, who led Fairfield with 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocked shots, and earned the Class 4A state tournament MVP honors. Eric Williams, who added 17 points and 4 assists, and Jalen Kidd, who had 17 points and 13 rebounds. Whereas the talented athletes on the Fairfield High Preparatory Championship basketball team are Jabarian Williams, DeJuan McKinney, Eric Williams, Milton Jones, Carlos Scroggins Jr., Jaden Johnson, Justin Murray, Corey White Jr., Jalen Kidd, and Antonio Combe. And whereas the exemplary coaching and support staff includes head coach Maurice Ford, associate head coach Randall Smith, assistant coaches Patrick Hanley, Travis Harper, Javon Duncan, Maurice Lynn, and Joseph Martin, managers Jaden Robinson and Jekiah Rudolph, director of operations Tanisha Spates, and bookkeeper Kenedra Stringer. Whereas head coach Maurice Ford has over 20 years of coaching experience at Fairfield High School, under his leadership, Fairfield has become a dominant force in Alabama high school basketball, achieving multiple state titles. His teams are known for disciplined defense, strong rebounding, effective teamwork, reflecting Coach Ford's coaching philosophy. Whereas the Fairfield boys basketball team's success is a tremendous source of pride for the members' families, classmates, teachers, administrators, and now the entire community whose dedication and support have played a crucial role in motivating the team. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the Legislature of Alabama that Fairfield High Preparatory School 2026 boys basketball team and coaches are highly honored and commended on winning the AHSAA Class 4A boys basketball state championship title, and we hereby dedicate this resolution to them in the utmost admiration, along with best wishes for continued success. Signed, Patrick Harris, Secretary of the Senate, and Will Ainsworth, Lieutenant Governor.
All right.
One more time for the Fairfield Tigers. Okay, I'm going to ask for some brief comments really quick. I know some members are going to say something, but in addition to the team, the coaching staff, we also have our wonderful superintendent here today from the Fairfield City Schools, none other than Dr. Regina Thompson. If you'll come forward and make some remarks. Also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and we will have Delta Day tomorrow.
I have an unveiling for our manufacturing program tomorrow, so I will not be able to come back for Delta Days tomorrow. But I am excited to be here. I would like to thank Representative Travis Hendricks and Senator Marika Coleman for this recognition and for honoring our students in this way. Today, I stand with great pride as superintendent of Fairfield City Schools, representing a group of young men who have achieved something extraordinary, and we are so very proud of them. Our high school boys basketball team are 4A state champions, as stated before, but more importantly, they are a reflection of discipline, resilience, and teamwork. They show what it means to stay committed, to trust one another, and to rise to the moment. And not only do we know that AA Athletic Association really has set standards, but we also set standards at Fairfield, and they have risen to them all, academically as well as athletically. And so we're very proud of them. I want to thank Coach Ford for his work, all that he does. I want to thank everyone here for what they do, all the managers and this team, and I want to thank the students, and I want to thank each one of you for inviting us. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, perfect. Thank you. All right, so I'm taking the orders right now. So right now from Fairfield High School, the winningest coach. You all please help us support none other than Coach Maurice Ford.
Good afternoon. I just want to first of all thank you for inviting us for this recognition. It's truly an honor for us to mean a lot for team and our community. I'm honored to stand here as head coach of Fairfield Preparatory High School, the 2026 4A state champions. To my players, this belongs to you. You represented Fairfield with pride and set a standard. To our administration and community and supporters, thank you for standing with us. We felt it every step of the way, but this is not only our first one, this is our third one, and Milton and these two guys have two.
Come on.
So they have two. So this is only the beginning, and we thank you for inviting us down here again. And like I always say, without them, it wouldn't be no me. And I love each and every one of y'all, my staff and everything, and my superintendent. Thank you for inviting us, and we really appreciate y'all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Coach. All right, so there are a couple of members that try to claim Fairfield, and I know someone definitely wants to make a remark, and then after our senators, definitely if our lieutenant governor would like to say a word to you all, pour into you all as well, we'll do it in that order. Then I have a special presentation, and then we'll be finished.
You didn't tell who I was. I'm just messing with you. I'm so glad to see y'all down here, because that means that y'all went all the way to the top. And let me just tell you all something about this team. You know, how many of you all remember Wide World of Sports back in the old days when it would come on? What's the first thing they would say? The thrill of victory? And what's the other part? Well, they done showed me the agony of defeat, because most of y'all recognize me, but for the few that don't, I coach at Ramsey. So you can understand what I mean by the agony of defeat. This is an outstanding team. I had a chance to sit on another bench and see these young men play. They are some outstanding athletes. You'll be commended for the work that you all did in winning this championship. You know, I've been a part of 4 state championships at Ramsey as a coach, and I know what it takes to win a state championship. I know what y'all poured into it. And you coaches, you're to be commended for the time you put in, for the commitment and the concern and care that you all have for these players and for Fairfield High School. But most of all, Coach, come on up here, Coach. Hey, you are to be commended. Now, I'm telling it all because none of y'all know this. Coach and I coached together for about 12 or 13 years all over the country. And when you start talking about people with AAU and all of that, you know, with the boys, we finished as high several times as #2 in the nation. And with the girls, we won the national championship. So I'm just telling you that Coach, a lot of this fiery and a lot of this what he had, he has transformed it over to me, having a chance to sit side by side with each other on the bench as we travel all around this country, from the state of Washington to Nevada to Texas to everywhere, playing in national and international tournaments and being successful. So, and besides that, this is my friend right here. See, that's what I'm saying. When I say friend, I'm talking about we've been good friends for, 20, 30 years, whatever the number is. And just like he knows, whatever I can do to help y'all, he knows that I'll do it, okay? It ain't got nothing to do with who playing who and that. I'll do whatever I can to help y'all because I know the commitment that he has, and he has done and will continue to do the same. So the only thing I'm gonna say, how many of you all are seniors? Okay, good. The rest of y'all, let me just tell you like this, and I know y'all already doing it. Let me tell you like this. Two days after you win the championship, it's time to start working on the next one. And I know y'all practicing and doing your drills, and that's what, y'all know this, but this is when the championship gonna be won. From now all the way through the summer, what you do to get yourself ready. So just keep, you know the formula, then just keep clicking on and keep on doing it. I wish y'all all the luck in the world, and I said this about you all like y'all heard me say the other day, that, you know, the Lord really looking out for me. You know why? Because y'all 4A and we 5A, and I ain't got to worry about y'all. You know, so thank y'all very much for coming, and Coach, thank you, my friend. Love you, man. Love you too. All right, and thank you all very much.
Lieutenant Governor?
Yeah, first, on
will
behalf
turn
of the
that way.
entire state of Alabama, congratulations. I mean, winning a state championship is impressive, something you're going to take with you the rest of your life. The grit, hard work, determination, you know, and then also, you know, if y'all are Auburn fans, Auburn needs some good basketball players. So think about that, War Eagle. Just kidding. But I want to say this, seriously. To the coach, appreciate you investing in these kids. You know, the discipline you're teaching them, the lifelong lessons going to carry on. And then for y'all to win a state championship, there's so few of people that do that. We're proud of y'all from across the entire state. And we've got some from our office when y'all walk out. William will have a challenge coin from y'all. But if I can ever help y'all in any way, let me know. And really proud of y'all. Y'all represent the state well. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I do have a special presentation today. Of course, we have a resolution that we're presenting from the state of Alabama. Each one of you will get a copy of that resolution. But this senator back here keep trying to take y'all from me. I don't know what is going on with him. Fairfield High School is in Senate District 19. And so one thing he doesn't have for the school system today is a check today. Come on to my superintendent. So we got a big check, but we have the real check. And so we have a check today to the system for $31,000. $12,500 goes directly to the high school. And so that center does not have $31,000 to give to the school system today. So we thank you all so much for what you're doing for Fairfield, Jefferson County, and the state of Alabama. You all give them one more round of applause, please. There's that check.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take some pictures right here.
All right, thank you all. Great to have you all today. All right, the Senate is back in session. That was a great presentation. And I will call back up the bill we were just on.
Mr. President, as I understand, we've passed the BIR on this, and now I make a motion for final passage.
Hold on one second. I got to have them call it back up.
Sure, sorry.
On page 66 of the calendar, House Bill number 432 by Representative Hassel regarding Montgomery County.
All right, Senator Barfoot.
Mr. President, I make a motion for final passage of HB 432 used in previous rule.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
Twenty-nine ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 432 passes. All right, Secretary, call next local bill.
On page 67 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 375 by Senators Coleman, Madison, and others regarding Class 1 municipalities. BR pending.
Mr. President, I move for adoption of the BIR used in previous rule.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
29 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 67 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 375 by Senator Coleman, Madison, and others regarding Class 1 municipalities. Committee amendment pending.
Mr. President, I'd move for adoption of the committee amendment used in previous rule.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
29 ayes, 0 nays. Committee amendments adopted. Senator Barfoot.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, I'd move for final passage of SB 375 as amended using previous rule.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 375 passes. All right, Secretary, call next local bill.
On page 67 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 357 by Senator Beasley regarding Macon County. BR pending.
Mr. President, I'd move for adoption of the BIR used in previous rule.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
Senate Bill number 357 by Senator Beasley regarding Macon County.
Mr. President, I'd move for final passage of SB 357 using previous rule, short roll. I see Senator Beasley over. I didn't know if he wanted to address it, but certainly I think we're ready to pass it. Senator Beasley.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 357 passes. Thanks, Senator Beasley. Secretary, call the next local bill. That concludes local bills. All right. Senator Wagner.
Mr. President, I have a report from the Committee on Rules.
All right, Secretary Reed received the report from Committee on Rules.
Yeah, we're through.
From the Committee on Rules, Senate Resolution Number 106, Special Order Calendar. Be it resolved by the Senate of the Legislature of Alabama that immediately upon the adoption of this resolution, the following business in the order set forth below shall be the special paramount order of business for the 26th legislative day, take precedence over the regular order of business or any pending or unfinished business. On page 66, House Bill Number 475 by Representative Butler and others regarding utilities. On page 61, House Bill Number 312 by Representative Hill regarding district attorneys. On page 12, House Bill 225 by Representative Smith and others regarding education. On page 28, House Bill 266 by Representative Sells regarding crimes and offenses. On page 17, House Bill Number 267 by Representative Sells regarding the Forestry Commission. On page 20, House Bill 268 by Representative Ingram regarding government administration. On page 40, House Bill 132 by Representative Estes regarding crimes and offenses. On page 21, House Bill 282 by Representative Hill regarding the Board of Pardons and Paroles. On page 15, House Bill 152 by Representative Garrett regarding the University of Alabama. And on page 62, Senate Bill Number 336 by Senator Barfoot regarding the Department of Human Resources.
Mr. President.
Senator Wagner.
Move that we adopt the report from the Committee on Rules using the previous roll call.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. Special order calendar is adopted. Secretary, call the first bill.
On page 66 of the calendar, House Bill Number 475 by Representative Butler and others regarding utilities. BR pending.
All right, Senator Chambliss.
Mr. President, thank you. Mr. President, as you all know, we've been working on this Public Service Commission bill for quite a while now, but in significant ways in the last few days and weeks. We have been working on some language regarding diversity on the Public Service Commission, and we have a proposed amendment. Senator, you want to talk about your amendment? You want to go ahead and do the BIR, and then you talk about your amendment? How do you want to do that?
Well, I'll do the BIR. Let's go on.
I'd move the BIR.
Let's get the rolling in here. We're ready to roll.
Okay, move the BIR using the previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 66 of the calendar, House Bill Number 475 by Representative Butler and others regarding utilities. Committee substitute pending.
Mr. President, I move adoption of the committee substitute using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
31 ayes, 0 nays. The committee substitute's adopted. All right. So we're on the sub now.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that,
got an amendment?
Go ahead, Senator.
Mr. President, may I offer an amendment?
Yeah, Secretary Reed received the amendment.
Amendment to the substitute for House Bill 475 as engrossed by Senator Smitherman. Replace line 69 through 70 on page 3 with the following. Replace line 81 on page 3 with the following. Replace line 85 on page 4 with the following. Replace line 125 on page 5 with the following. Replace line 129 on page 5 with the following. Replace line 322 through 323 on page 12 with the following. Replace line 326 on page 12 with the following.
Mr. President.
Senator Smitherman.
This is presented as a friendly amendment, and if no other questions, I just move for adoption of the amendment. Ask unanimous consent to use previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
31 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Smitherman, amendment's adopted.
Thank you. I'm yield back to the.
All right, Senator Chambliss.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, there are several things that we all know the bill does, but I'll just mention those briefly. This outlaws any rate increase until 2029, but leaves open the ability of rate reduction. It increases the PSC from 3 to 7 elected. It staggers the terms, so there will ultimately be 2, 3, 2 with 6-year terms, and provide for continuity. It outlaws contributions from those being regulated to the regulator. It creates the Secretary of Energy position. It requires an additional annual public hearing, and then adds some triggers for additional formal hearings that are in addition to the one that they already have. So we'll go from 1 to 3, and those will be under oath, subject to perjury, and also have subpoena power. So with that, Mr. President, if there are no questions, I would move passage as amended using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 475 passes as amended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 61 of the calendar, House Bill number 312 by Representative Hill regarding district attorneys. BR pending.
Mr. President.
Senator Smithman.
Move for adoption of BR and ask unanimous consent to use previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 61 of the calendar, House Bill number 312 by Representative Hill regarding district attorneys.
Mr. President, this bill brings the district attorneys in line with the judges in terms of I think it eliminates supernumerary and bring them in to that process that the judges are under right now. If there's no other questions, I'd move for final passage and unanimous consent to use previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 312 passes. Thanks, Senator Smithman. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 12 of the calendar, House Bill number 225 by Representative Smith and others regarding education. BR pending.
Mr. President, I'd like to move BR using previous roll without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 12 of the calendar, House Bill number 225 by Representative Smith and others regarding education.
Mr. President.
Senator Roberts.
HB 225 is simply about job posting and allowing superintendents and the entire movement to go faster with the communication that we have today, everything being electronic. This is something I met with superintendents last summer, and they put as one of their top priorities. So I don't know if we have any questions. If we have no questions, I'd like to move final passage of HB 225 using previous roll without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 225 passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Senator Roberts. Secretary, call next bill.
On page 28 of the calendar, House Bill number 266 by Representative Sells regarding crimes and offenses. BR pending.
Mr. President, I'd move for adoption of the BR using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 28 of the calendar, House Bill number 266 by Representative Sells regarding crimes and offenses.
Mr. President, have an amendment. Ask it be received.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the amendment, please.
Amendment to House Bill number 266 by Senator Barfoot. Replace lines 27 on page 1 with the following.
All right, Senator Barfoot. Oh, hold on 1 second.
Replace line 45 on page 2 with the following.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, I'd move for adoption of the amendment using previous rule.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
Thirty-three ayes, 0 nays. Senator Barfoot, amendment's adopted.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, seeing no questions, I'd move for final passage of HB 266 as amended using previous rule.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
Thirty-four ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 266 passes. All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
Are we on passage? What are we on? What are we on? Call the previous roll. Next bill. On page 17 of the calendar, House Bill number 267 by Representative Sells regarding the Forestry Commission. BR pending.
Senator Sessions.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to pass the BIR using previous role without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 17 of the calendar, House Bill number 267 by Representative Sells regarding the Forestry Commission.
Senator Sessions.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill kind of just makes some technical changes to the law that governs the Alabama Forestry Commission. If there are no questions, I move final passage using previous role without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 267 passes. Thanks, Senator Sessions.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
Page 20 of the calendar, House Bill 268 by Representative Ingram regarding government administration. BR pending.
Mr. President, motion to adopt BR, previous role, no objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 20 of the calendar, House Bill number 268 by Representative Ingram regarding government administration.
Mr. President, this bill focuses on local 911 district performance and sets up a process for the state 911 board to provide more hands-on assistance to districts if needed. Motion to adopt, previous role, no objections.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 268 passes. Thanks, Senator Bell. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 40 of the calendar, House Bill number 132 by Representative Estes regarding crimes and offenses. BR pending.
Mr. President.
No. Senator Woods.
BIR using previous role.
All right.
No objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 40 of the calendar, House Bill number 132 by Representative Estes regarding crimes and offenses.
Mr. President, this bill expands Alabama's second-degree assault statute to cover additional protected victims, specifically children who would be injured in an educational environment, and move for final adoption. Use the previous role without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 132 passes. Thank you, Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 21 of the calendar, House Bill number 282 by Representative Hill regarding the Board of Pardons and Paroles. BR pending.
Senator Barfoot.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd move for adoption of the BIR using previous role.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 21 of the calendar, House Bill number 282 by Representative Hill regarding the Board of Pardons and Paroles.
Mr. President, I've got an amendment.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the amendment.
Amendment to House Bill 282 by Senator Barfoot. Replace line 12 on page 1 with the following. Replace line 94 through 95 on page 4 with the following.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know I've offered the amendment. I'd move for adoption of the amendment used in previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Barfoot amendment's adopted. Senator Barfoot.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, I'd move for final passage of HB 282 as amended using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Object? You want the long roll or you want to speak? All right, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I understand the amendment, and the amendment that you brought on solves a problem that we have on the community correction programs.
That's correct.
And I think I'm talking about that because we was asked to hold up for a second, okay?
I understand.
So can you explain that amendment a little bit more and how that is working through community corrections?
I will. Will you do me a favor? Will you kind of give me just 1 second if you can speak to that?
I can do that, yes. I think that we have a problem on our community correction programs, and I think this bill does a great job of trying to solidify what that problem may be, that if a person is working on a community correction program, if they commit a secondary crime that they're already on, right now, they can leave that community correction program and go straight home. And there's nobody who can arrest them for that other criminal action.
You are correct. And to your point, I mean, we certainly don't need that. That is, community corrections is a program that's a great program for the right folks to be on there. And of course, there are only a certain number of people who can be on that community correction program. But this amendment tries to fix that because you're correct. If someone is on community corrections and has a subsequent offense for which they're sentenced to prison on, currently, the Department of Corrections is not pulling that person from what we call Free World, the Community Corrections Program, into DOC. As I understand it, there's a significant number of events where that individual is remaining on community corrections, which is out in the public, even though a circuit judge may have sentenced that individual to prison time. And this will correct that. As a matter of fact, I think there has even been a situation where someone was supposed to have gone to prison by order from another judge. They were not picked up from that community corrections program. And then when that community correction time was over with, that individual, nobody knows where he's at. Or I say he, might have been a she, I don't remember.
Just walked home.
Gone. And so you've got a judge that issues an order who said, you know, this is an individual that needs to be in prison. Maybe a different judge that had issued the previous order on community corrections, but there's no communications, I guess, and so we need to try to correct that, and I think this amendment does.
And I'm glad we're doing it because I don't want to put a bad cloud over community corrections. I think community corrections is a good program.
Yes.
And we don't want it to look like people can just find a loophole to walk away from community corrections.
Agreed.
Because along with community correction, drug courts, mental health courts, those other courts that some of these jurisdictions has are working very, very well in terms of giving people second chances and keeping people out of our Department of Corrections, filling up beds when they can be able to do the work, unlike work release, but they're still able to go through community corrections and get programs. They maybe get drug treatment through community corrections and maybe do some other community service work through community corrections. And I just don't want to see that program get a bad, I'll call a black eye on it because of an incident that happened where there was a mixed up in our judicial system.
Now, you're correct. And what could happen, and to your point, is that, first of all, community corrections is a very good program. It is prison time outside the walls of DOC. So an individual who's sentenced to community corrections, for instance, is not taking those resources inside of DOC, and it's not for everybody. Matter of fact, the statute specifies who can or can't even be considered for that community corrections. And each county, I think, has a little bit separate or different jurisdiction of how they run that program under DOC's purview, I believe.
Yes.
And so when you have, for instance, like we were talking about, an individual who may have not gone into DOC custody, even though there was an order saying pick that individual up and take him, but rather allowed to stay on community corrections, and then that individual leaves and nobody knows where that person's at. That's the kind of situation where if something goes wrong and that individual commits another crime out there, then it will look bad on everybody through community corrections. And we've got to make sure that doesn't happen. Again, behind the prison walls is for a group of folks. Then we've got another group of folks that are in DOC's custody, but they're in the community corrections, not behind the walls at DOC. And then you've got probationers, obviously, that are whole separate area of folks. And so we got to make sure, do what we can to make sure systems running correctly, that those individuals who are sentenced to community corrections are doing everything they need to do. If a judge issues a separate order and tells them that they need to go to prison for whatever that may be, a subsequent offense or something they've just been adjudicated as guilty of, and that judge sentences them to prison, that needs to happen right then. That needs to take precedent over anything in community correction.
I would also hope that this bill and this particular amendment will allow more communications within DOC and the courts. Because usually these community correction programs come under a circuit judge's, to presiding circuit judge really usually oversee these programs, hire the people, making sure that they have the community correction officers out there, and it kind of come under that purview of the, in my circuits, it come under the purview of the presiding judges. And with that, if there's not the communication, if there's an order out there for a pickup, there needs to be more communication between the courts and the communication program, and DOC in that community correction program.
I agree.
I would hope that this bill will allow them to have that communication, because right now it looked like it shouldn't have never happened if people had been talking.
That's right.
It looked like something should be simple. We probably shouldn't have needed this particular piece of legislation to make it happen, but it obviously it's happening, and we need to make it happen, make sure that it does.
Yeah, I agree with you. And when those judges issue an order, I mean, there's a co-equal branch of government, and those judges issue an order that needs to be followed.
Yes.
And and then because see what happens too, and those judges, and I don't know how many judges throughout the state have issued orders that have been affected by what's happening now, but something goes wrong. Not only will community corrections look bad potentially, but those judges might look bad.
They look bad because they falls under the judges' order. Under those. I know in the 5th Judicial Circuit, my presiding judge counsel oversee that program. He hires the coordinator and makes sure that everybody, and they basically run the program based on his model. Right. And if there's, he makes sure that they get their budgets and things of that nature. So it comes under the presiding judge. And like you said, it could make the judge look bad if in fact something of this nature is happening under his purview. And so, and it could be another judge from another circuit that ordered that.
Right.
That's why I said that communication needs to be there.
That's right.
And
let me ask you, you said the 5th Judicial Circuit.
Yes.
You've probably got, that's probably a pretty big circuit too.
It is one of the largest circuits in the state. Yeah. In terms of geographic wise. It's one of the largest circuits in the state that handles 5 counties. But
how many counties?
5.
5 counties. I don't get over that way as much as I used to years and years ago. But had some very pleasant judges to deal with. And of course, that was a long time ago. They've probably retired, but enjoyed practicing in front of them.
Well, you got Judge Wiggins that's there. Continue. He's the presiding judge now. Judge Pettaway just retired. I think the governor just made an appointment for someone from the DA's office. And you have Judge. Oh wow, he used to be the district judge.
I put you in a bad spot now.
McMillan, Judge McMillan.
Senior moment.
Yes, thank you. Judge McMillan. And because you had judge out of Bibb that retired, and Judge McMillan took his place. Judge McMillan was in Perry County as a district judge that then came on to that circuit. But Judge Wiggins never been a district judge. He always ran for the first time as a circuit judge, and he'd been on the circuit since like '98.
I was going to say, I think I remember being in front of Judge Wiggins back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, those judges, I guarantee you, they wouldn't appreciate issuing an order for somebody to be in DOC custody and then that not happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, again, we've kind of talked about a little bit about, you know, the benefits of this amendment. And
Okay. Yield to the gentleman.
Sure.
I don't have one quick thing. I'm gonna turn back to you. I've seen in action what you were trying to correct. I was the clerk and district criminal for Judge Pete Johnson, and it never failed. Just like you were saying, especially when they don't really get a tight hold on it, and they don't have that knowing them dates.
Right.
I've seen people come out, and then they got to chase them for 2 or 3 weeks or a month to try to find them to bring them back. So I just commend you for that. This is a great public safety amendment for the victims and for the families and everything else that relates to that, really the more serious charge. In this case, what you and I talked about.
That's right.
So I just want to yield it back to you and let you continue to do what you're doing.
I thought you were going to tell me a story involving your wife as a circuit judge, that she'd given an order that wasn't followed, and I was all ears. I was ready to hear about that. She may have at home anyway that you didn't follow and you had to deal with, right?
And she had the experience of, you know, it's amazing when you work in all branches of government, but she's had the experience of being a criminal judge. Then she went into, you know, being the mayor of the city and that. And then she's been a DA. And then she come back now, just last tenure for 12 years, she was a civil judge. So she's kind of touched all the aspects of law like that you can read. And, you know, she's had a few situations she's had to clamp down when necessary, and then she's had some otherwise.
So in Jefferson County, the circuit judges up there are either criminal or civil. They don't do both?
No, and in fact, we have so many people that, remember, we got about almost 1 million people rounding it off. They got this rounding thing with the penny now. Right. So you round it off, we got about 1 million people in just that county. And so because so many people, we have judges that just do family court stuff. We have some that just do civil stuff, and some that just do criminal stuff. It's, you know, kind of like on the big circuit, they do 2 or 3 of the same thing, but we got so many people that's the case. So she's had a chance to kind of do all of them, really.
In Montgomery, we've got 3 circuit judges that are dedicated to juvenile and domestic type, and then we have 6 circuit judges that handle both criminal and civil stuff. So they're kind of dual role on that side of the equation. And I bet none of my circuit judges here in Montgomery or Crenshaw County or Elmore County that I represent would appreciate sending somebody, if they had to go, send them to DOC custody, and then somebody not following that order.
Oh no, I don't think they would either. I agree with you.
I just want to kind of walk through, while we've got just a few minutes, if I could, the section that's most that's really the heart of it. It's Section 2 is the amendment. If a defendant serving a sentence in a community punishment and correction program, which, by the way, I always call it community corrections, but I guess technically the name is community punishment and corrections. But if a defendant serving a sentence in a community punishment and correction program is subsequently convicted in another case and sentenced to imprisonment and confinement in the Alabama Department of Corrections, the defendant shall be immediately removed from the supervision of the Community Punishment and Corrections Program and confined in the Alabama Department of Corrections until such time as the subsequent sentence of confinement is completed. During the sentence of confinement, the Community Punishment and Corrections sentence shall be told, and nothing would prevent reinstatement in the Community Punishment and Correction Program unless the court orders otherwise or the defendant becomes ineligible pursuant to the statute. And then Section 3 goes on to say, Section 1 of this act shall become effective on October 1st, 2026, and Section 2 of this act, which I just read, shall become effective immediately. That's one of those things that, you know, it's kind of bifurcated. The first part of the piece of legislation is not enacted until later, and that's the change of the date. And then this second part here, it becomes effective immediately. And we realize, and the reason that's effective immediately is because what we talked about is important. We don't need to delay that. We need to have it immediately come into effect. So when a circuit judge issues that order, that can be carried out. And I said circuit judge actually, I suspect, and now I'm just kind of talking out loud, but you know, district judges don't have the ability to sentence somebody to over a year.
Yeah.
All right. So they could sentence them to jails at the county level up to a year is the purview of the district court judge, and actually I guess you know circuit court judge can do the same. I mean, you could sentence somebody, doesn't have to sentence somebody to over a year, but they can sentence them to county jail, different of course than DOC. And so I just wondered, now that I'm thinking out loud, I think community corrections would also apply to even misdemeanor type actions.
They would.
Or even felonies where it may be a split.
That's right.
You know, so.
You're right.
So I think a whole host of judges, even though I've said circuit court judges, I think district court judges would certainly benefit from this, and they need to have their orders followed just like circuit court judges, right?
That's right. That's right. I agree with you.
You know,
yeah.
we talk about the judicial branch being a co-equal branch of government, and it certainly is. And you know, we've had some just tough discussions about funding of the judiciary, and we need to make sure that is fully funded.
I agree with you on that part.
We've got they are a co-equal branch of government. We pass laws, and we got to make sure that the judiciary, that there's enough judges out there, that they have the staff and the ability to carry out the laws that we've passed. And so,
well, I agree with you. And if you know whatever you like to do with this bill, you may move at that particular time. Because I know that we have a few more, and actually you have the last one on this particular calendar. So if we get to that point where we're trying to work on handling those additional bills on the other one, we can talk.
Yes, sir.
To kind of, that'll we got another tool if we just need to kind of talk. But I won't hold you up. You feel free to move forward and pass this bill if that's what you decide.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed the conversation.
Me too.
Respect your opinion as an attorney, especially being married to a judge. You see that side of it as well. So
I do. You're right.
Certainly. With that, I'd move for final passage of HB 282 as amended using previous roll.
Any objections?
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
Good job, Senator.
34 ayes, no nays, the bill is passed. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 15 of the calendar, House Bill number 152 by Representative Garrett regarding the University of Alabama, BR pending.
Mr. President.
Senator Orr.
Move adoption of the BRR using the previous roll.
Any objections? Secretary, call the short roll.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, no nays, the bill is passed.
No, the BRR is passed.
Is that BRR is adopted?
Secretary, call the bill.
Secretary, call the bill.
On page 15 of the calendar, House Bill number 152 by Representative Garrett regarding the University of Alabama.
Mr. President.
Senator Orr.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a bill that comes at the request of the university for a reformation of their school of social work there in Tuscaloosa. They've made the request to change the operating procedure in which they function, and this would it affects the School of Social Work. There's certainly no plan to eliminate the school. It'll certainly remain. All the programs will stay the same. for the foreseeable future. They're not looking to merge the school into any other college there at the university, but it's just a statutory change that was put into place some 40 years ago, I believe. And I'd yield to the kind gentleman across the way if he has any questions he'd like to ask about this stellar piece of legislation.
May I be
Mr.
recognized?
Spillman.
Yes, sir, may I be recognized? No, Senator, they've done a good job of answering, those questions. I'll give I know we don't always call folk names, but we can if they ain't senators. They're not senators. Mr. Bannister has did a good job of explaining to me what they were trying to do. One of the concerns that was expressed was about the lady who was actually heading it under the present structure. But it's my understanding that she is, she's resigned to roll into the process that they're using now for that department, and she has obtained full professorship as well as maintain the research aspect of it herself. So I want to thank them very much for not only trying to move, into the way they're trying to shape the department, but I want to thank them for being sensitive to the dedication she got, and they showed that they are dedicated to her. So with that, I'll yield back to you.
Thank you, Senator, for those kind words, and I'm sure all the Crimson Tiders appreciate them. So that being said, Mr. President, I'd move third reading using the previous roll.
He wants to speak. May I ask to be recognized?
May I be recognized? Yes. Just a quick question. So will she remain the dean of the school, or what are, I know you can't really answer personnel questions.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah.
A flat answer is
I asked because the current dean, she's from Selma, Alabama.
Oh my, okay.
And so, I've been watching this topic. Very impressive, graduate of Selma High School, Spelman College, University of Georgia. So she has a lot of accolades and works really hard. The social work department is also doing a lot of rehabilitation work in the Black Belt and partnering with our court system. And so I just don't want to see any of that positive activity end.
Well, we actually, in the budget, increased the funding today in the committee, and we'll hopefully do it here on the floor tomorrow, for the social workers in the K-12 world. We increased it, rough math in my head, I'd say 20% in committee. Governor Ivey had bumped it up some, and we took that and raised it some more. So that will help as far as employment of social workers in our schools, and as they work with the children and address their extra academic needs that they may have.
Music to my ears. I yield. Thank you.
We also funded Selma University.
Yes, I'm excited about that. Thank you.
I like to see you excited, Senator. All right, move third reading, Mr. President.
Previous roll.
Previous roll.
Any objections? Secretary, call the roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, no nays, the bill is passed. Call the next bill.
On page 62 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 336 by Senator Barfoot regarding the Department of Human Resources. BR pending.
Mr. President, I'd move for adoption of the BR using previous roll.
Any objections? Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, no nays, the bill's, BIR is adopted. Senator, Secretary, call the bill.
On page 62 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 336 by Senator Barfoot regarding the Department of Human Resources.
Mr. President, thank you so much. I want to give an explanation of this bill. It has been a bill that has been pretty time-consuming. I have had the benefit of working with DHR through some of the potential problems that are there. They've been very receptive to listening to what we're trying to accomplish. They too have the goal to make sure that children in Alabama are safe. Over the past week or two, we've had some conversations with some entities that are uncertain as to what this bill may do, although they're supportive of that, there has been some, I guess I would say, maybe trepidation as to the potential concerns or problems. I've heard from some of those entities or groups over the past week or two and have tried to allay some of those concerns. As recent as today, I've heard some other more pointed questions. We're at the last day here to get things through the Senate, but I know I've got some colleagues that are working to try to maybe address some of those problems or are working to answer some questions is probably the better way to put it. So if I could just kind of walk through this piece of legislation. This is a bill that you may have seen some media coverage on. It is an important bill to a lot of folks, and especially to the children of the state of Alabama. So much so that Ms. Paris Hilton has become involved in this and has voiced her support of what we are trying to do. You've seen some, I guess I'll call them tweets, although that's probably not the correct word anymore, supporting this piece of legislation. Very proud to have Representative Lovern in the House, who is going to be the House sponsor. Ms. Hilton wasn't just engaged in this piece of legislation. She certainly has a story that, if you haven't heard it, it is a very horrifying story, and one that everybody should listen to. She, like other individuals throughout the state, have experienced some horrific crimes and problems, significant problems, when they're in a licensed child care facility, and was just very proud to have her support with this piece of legislation. You know, there are groups, as I said earlier, that over the past couple of weeks have shown some desire to help, but have at the same time have some questions. And again, some of my colleagues are trying to work to answer some of those questions, even as I speak now, in hopes that we'll be able to move this forward today. And just so, I just want to, while that's continuing to go on, I just want to kind of give you a little bit of a preamble there. This particular bill relating to child care facilities, it amends several different code sections of Alabama. It provides an existing exception to the child care facility licensing requirements that does not apply to entities operating for profit or a 24-hour basis, and to provide additional requirements for an application to operate a child care facility, to provide the Department of Human Resources with authority to adopt rules governing video surveillance of child care facilities and record storage requirements, and provides additional investigative authority to law enforcement agencies investigating child abuse or neglect in those facilities. Then it adds another code section, and that is that additional code section establishes a private cause of action for violation of child care facilities, and adds an additional section that establishes a private cause of action for violation at those youth care facilities. Again, while I'm talking for a few minutes and trying to back channel answer some of those concerns, I know there's not a member in this Senate. I know there's nobody at this State House that doesn't care for and try to protect children. We've seen that in legislation, including this one, along the way, and I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to move this, and maybe some of those concerns will be addressed in the interim. And I know we're on a tight schedule, and I understand that there's another calendar. I'm going to do my best to, hopefully we can get those concerns answered. This chapter and this bill is known as the Paris Hilton Child Safety and Accountability Act. And of course, you know, as I said before, she is extremely an advocate for child safety. Senator Sessions.
Mr. President, thank you. Senator, just a couple of questions, not a lot. I'm not up here to delay your bill or kill your bill or anything, but you know, I have several really well-ran daycares in my community, and I'm just kind of, it's the first time I've seen it. I'd really like opportunity to go through the whole bill, but just for my benefit, because I haven't heard from them, and I always like to talk to them before I ever vote on something like this. Could you tell me what it's going to do to that daycare center? I mean, from what I understand, they're already licensed, and I mean, would this create another license or a further? What's the main issue bringing this? Because, you know, like I said, the ones I'm affiliated with in my community are well ran, and I don't really have any issues. So I'm just wanting to know where this was coming from. Now, there has been some issues with child care, with children getting, you know, left in a van, and that shouldn't have. That was in at a daycare facility and was transported and was left in a facility van, and you know, and that's tragic. And I'm just kind of curious as to, is this what this is directed toward?
Yeah, great questions. And I know in our conversations about not specifically this bill, but other bills, I mean, you are an advocate for child safety and welfare. And I also understand that you want to make sure that this legislation doesn't adversely affect some of the folks that you represent who are, in fact, doing a good job. And there's always that balancing act. The truth of the matter is that, you know, most of these for-profit centers, residential care type facilities are doing a good job. But with like most other things, it's the bad actors that necessitate some of this type of legislation. One of the pieces that I think is important is the records and retention, to make sure that there are cameras, there are videos in common areas, that certain things are documented, that you know, to the extent that there is something that could go on, is that those children or those advocates for those children have an opportunity to see what really went on. Because, as you know, a lot of times those children are there. Sometimes they don't have family members that can advocate for them. And sometimes the only advocate that those children may have might be an attorney. And a lot of times it's hard to get that information. And I know you respect attorneys and deal.
Love you guys,
Yeah,
especially the good ones.
Yes, sir. Well, I hope
you know, but even in attorneys, there's a few bad actors. You know, any profession, you're going to have good and bad. And I guess that's my question on these facilities. Is it perhaps they're understaffed and overbooked as far as too many children being in there, and then staff not being available, or not enough staff hired, or, you know, is that perhaps one of the regulatory things that this bill could handle, by making sure that these facilities are properly staffed, the people there are properly trained, and you know, on down the line?
Yeah, that's actually part of it. I mean, you know, training folks in the right way, making sure that those violations or what happens to those children are monitored, that there's recording there, there's the documentation of that. So if something does go awry, we can hold somebody accountable. And, you know, that's what I say about the civil justice side of that equation. It's kind of like in the Wild West. You know, Samuel Colt had, and I use this often, Samuel Colt had the Peacemaker in the 1870s, 1880s. And I think the saying that they used was, a colt makes every man equal. I guess you could say every woman equal, everybody equal that had one. And I think of that as far as the civil justice side of the equation, because a lot of times some of the bad actors within in this segment, or maybe not bad actors, but maybe some employees who don't do what they've been trained to do, or not properly trained in some cases, need to be held accountable. And I know you've got other questions. I think you were waiting on some conversations with some of your folks
Yes,
reached out
I
to
do.
you.
I'm going to reach out to my local folks that I've always worked closely with in my hometown, and
yes, sir,
and get the answers that, you know, from them as to where they see this piece. I think they're probably more than likely right on board, because usually if it's something that's negative toward what they're trying to do and trying to provide for the children, they're letting me know about it. But they, you know, the Lighthouse Daycare in my community has not reached out, and normally she keeps a good close eye on things. The director down there, she does a great job. So, you know, I'm thinking maybe everything's okay, but I still would like to talk to her. But I'm going to yield. You've answered my questions. I thank you very much for your explanations, and I think some of our other colleagues may have a question or two. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President. All right. I wasn't sure if Senator Hovey was going to start asking questions too, or what he was coming up here for or not. Look, this bill, I know you put a lot of hours into this bill, and I know it's hard to find the balancing act for the good actors and the bad actors. For the bad actors, I don't know that there's enough you can do, because if you're a bad actor and you're dealing with children, I don't think there's enough you can do to the person. I mean, I don't play those games. I don't think those people can be rehabilitated. I don't think they should ever be around children again. I have a very hardcore stance on that. On the bad actors, once they're identified, I guess the question I have is, does this go far enough? And I hate to ask that, but does the bill go far enough in taking care of the bad actors? Should there be a minimum limit of insurance coverage? Should there be a minimum coverage? Because the victim should be able to get compensated. Nothing will ever compensate them, but it should be like a vehicle accident where you have $300,000 in damages and a $25,000 policy. It shouldn't be something so out of whack like that here we are and they've committed a bad act. But on a second offense, if they've ever opened up another place or have multiple places, does this go far enough in shutting those down? And I guess that's where I'm asking you, is there thoughts on actually going a little farther on this?
Yeah, I would agree, and thank you for that. I know others have questions, and I know we're on short time, and we're trying to work through some of those conversations. You're exactly right, though. You know, caps are never the answer, because when you put caps on damages, that is.
And I'm more about a minimum. I'm more about a minimum instead of I'm more minimums, not a maximum. I'm talking about enough coverage to cover a victim and what they go through, the counseling, the things they go through, and where the daycare owner don't have some minimum coverage that barely keeps their doors open.
I appreciate your concerns. I know, like Senator Sessions, you've been a big advocate for protecting children, and thank you for that. And I know we're kind of talking through some things as it is. I'll be glad to, Mr. President, I'd be glad to yield to my friend and colleague across the way.
Senator Weaver.
Senator Barfoot, my question for you is, Senator Barfoot, how many hours have you worked on this piece of legislation this session? Because every day I have seen you working. So, ballpark, how many hours do you think that you've worked on this? Or it's been every day.
There's been an exhausting amount of time, and that's just been since session has been, even before then, trying to work into balance, getting a bill in position, talking to some of my colleagues. And again, I know you're extremely supportive of what we're trying to do.
And I'm grateful for you and the work that you have done. I know how much work that you have put into this. You have put your heart into it, and you have worked. I know that, like me, you want to ensure that we have safe, supportive, and nurturing environments for these children that are in these situations. And I just want to tell you how grateful I am for your work and for your advocacy, and would encourage anybody who still has issues to get with you to really get this going, because I know how hard you've worked on it, and I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that.
Thank you for your support. Mr. President, I know that there are other questions out there that I need to have some meetings with some individuals now. I'm going to ask that SB 336 be carried over, and we'll see if we can get it back.
All those in favor say aye. Bill's carried over. Senator Wagner.
Mr. President, have a report from the Committee on Rules.
Clerk has received the report.
From the Committee on Rules, Senate Resolution Number 107, Special Order Calendar. Be it resolved by the Senate of the Legislature of Alabama that immediately upon the adoption of this resolution, the following business in the order set forth below shall be the special and paramount order of business for the 26th legislative day, taking precedence over the regular order of business or any pending or unfinished business. On page 27 of the calendar, House Bill 128 by Representative Lands and others regarding the Board of Midwifery. On page 41, House Bill 86 by Representative England regarding parole. On page 48, Senate Bill 364 by Senator Smitherman regarding public education. On page 39, Senate Bill 318 by Senator Coleman regarding the crime of sexual torture.
Mr. President,
Mr. Wagner.
move adoption of the report from the Committee on Rules using the previous roll call.
Any objection to previous roll? Seeing none, so ordered. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, no nays. The resolution is adopted. Clerk, call the first bill on the second special order.
On page 27 of the calendar, House Bill Number 128 by Representative Lands and others regarding the Board of Midwifery. BR pending.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move BR using previous roll.
I'd like to adopt the BR.
Yes, using previous roll.
Call the roll. Previous roll.
Yes, sir.
Call the previous roll.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, no nays. The BR is adopted. Senator Coleman.
Thank you, sir. This is a midwifery board, and basically all it does is authorize them.
Senator, let me call the bill.
Okay, I'm sorry.
On page 27 of the calendar, House Bill Number 128 by Representative Lands and others regarding the Board of Midwifery.
Again, this is a request for the midwifery board, authorizing them or to allow them to accept gifts and apply for grants to enable them to continue the service that they provide. There are no questions. I move final passage using previous roll without objection.
Any objections? Clerk, call the previous roll.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, no nays. The bill is adopted.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, members.
Call the next bill.
On page 41 of the calendar, House Bill Number 86 by Representative England regarding parole. BR pending.
Senator Smitherman.
Mr. President, I ask for passage of the BIR and unanimous consent to use previous roll.
Any objection to the previous roll? Hearing none, so ordered. Call the BIR.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, no nays. The BIR is adopted. Senator Smitherman. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 41 of the calendar, House Bill Number 86 by Representative England regarding parole.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill deals with the consideration of an additional elements when they are looking at granting parole for people who are considered for parole. And if there's any questions, feel free to ask. And if there's not, then we'll move for final passage and ask unanimous consent to use the previous roll.
Unanimous consent to use previous roll. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, no nays. The bill's passed.
All right, you ready for me to relieve you, sir?
Yes, sir.
On page 48 of the calendar, Senate Bill Number 364 by Senator Smitherman regarding public education. BR pending.
Mr. President, I ask for unanimous consent to use previous roll for the passage of the BIR.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
Page 48 of the calendar, Senate Bill Number 364 by Senator Smitherman regarding public education.
Thank you. this bill we've passed several times. We passed last year. It deals with conflict resolution, and we started the bill out dealing with 9 through 12. But the State Board of Education asked that we would include the middle school in it. It will allow them to provide the program of addressing conflict resolution or as well. And if there's no other questions, I'll ask for final passage and ask unanimous consent to use the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
Senator Coleman.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 364 passes. All right. Yeah, Secretary, call next bill.
Page 39 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 318 by Senator Coleman regarding the crime of sexual torture. BR pending.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Do I need to do a BIR? Move adoption of the BIR using previous role with no objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
Page 39 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 318 by Senator Coleman regarding the crime of sexual torture. Committee amendment pending.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Move adoption of the committee amendment using previous role without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Committee amendments adopted. All right, Senator Coleman.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. This bill actually expands the crime of sexual torture of children specifically, so move final passage of Senate Bill 318 as amended, using previous role without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 318 passes. Thanks, Senator Coleman.
Thank you so much.
All right, we've got a House message.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill 639 by Representatives Baker and Hammett regarding Escambia County with notice and proof is referred to the Committee on Local Legislation. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. This is just a first. This is a first. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 635 by Representative Easterbrook regarding Choctaw County with notice and proof is referred to the Committee on Local Legislation. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Mr. Pro Tem, Mr. President.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Senator Smithman.
Could I be just recognized? If we through with getting those bills out.
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you recognize.
Thank you. Can I get everybody to listen to me just for a minute? Just for a minute. Just for a minute. First, I want to just tell each and every one of y'all, thank you very much. That's what I was talking about when I was standing up in earlier. Let's find a way to get to where we got to today. And you all were willing to do it. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. You know, I mean, I believe in giving you flowers while you're living. And you living, I'm gonna give you some flowers. So thank you all very much. And I look forward as we go forward from now until when we sign it die for us working together and finding a way that we can move things the way we were able to move it today. So thank y'all very, very much. I appreciate it. You know, be safe once we leave this evening. And I'm just like y'all. I hope tomorrow, tomorrow's Thursday. I hope tomorrow that we can have, you see that Senator, I can't call his name, darn as hell. You know what I'm getting ready to say. I'm hoping tomorrow that we can have TL Light Thursday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The chair always appreciates not being here till 11. Just go ahead. Senator Figures, did you want to? Okay. Senator Gudger.
What is it? We don't need to right now. We can't do it right now. Mr. President, point of personal privilege.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, congratulations to you. Today was a good day of honoring you, and I want you to know I appreciate you being my friend. I think the world of you. I'll go fight with you any day of the week, buddy, okay? That's number one. Number two, when we can accomplish great and amazing things when we work together, and that's what we did today. We had a lot of things that we weren't sure we were able even to get past, and when we start working together and start coming together, then we can accomplish things that's best for the state of Alabama. Having said that, Mr. President, we want to make a motion to adjourn until 9:30, Thursday, April 2nd.
Okay, you heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned.